What's good? What's good, my peopleizations? We're gonna talk some basketball today. James, what's going on with you, man?
What's good? What's good, my peopleization?
What's goody with y'all, man? Live stream. Smash the like button, man. Subscribe to the channel. Triple B Hoops, man. We're gonna talk some basketball today, man. So let's talk about it, right? We're talking about, when coming into the season, the Los Angeles Lakers, BG Kicks. What's going on, great brother? James, what's going on? Coming into the season, the Los Angeles Lakers and the Los Angeles Lakers and the Brooklyn Nets was the favorite to win it all. So we're gonna talk about that today and see if they still the favorites to win it all, because we know, they've been having some struggles going through the early part of the season. Both teams, the Lakers and the Brooklyn Nets, they both been having struggles going through the early part of the season. So now, are they still the favorite in many people's eyes? Okay. Do many people still believe that they're going to win the championship, or is it going to be the Milwaukee Bucks? Right. A lot of people feel like the Milwaukee Bucks have what it takes to repeat. It's difficult to repeat, but the Milwaukee Bucks, they have the chemistry, and the Milwaukee Bucks, they have, all their pieces came back, except for PJ Tucker. PJ Tucker was a huge piece that they lost out on. That was a huge piece that they lost out on. PJ Tucker was a huge piece that they lost out on. King Fonnie 86. Taneem Marie, peace of blessing, Queen. How you doing today? That's me. What's going on? Yeah, so Omega Cam, what's going on, great brother? So, they both had struggles early in the season, chemistry, things of that nature. The Knicks looking good, right? Thank Father, what's going on? We're gonna have Colin. We're gonna do it all, man. We're gonna do it big on this basketball channel, man. So I need y'all to share the basketball link, share the basketball channel, right? Because we're gonna talk some basketball, man. We're gonna get more consistent, upload more content. We're gonna be more active. Me and my brother Emmanuel H, and historian when he feel up to it. As a matter of fact, let me text the historian and see if he up to it. He probably watching college football. That's his thing too. So, Dark Kent 718, what's going on? Hold on. Try to see if the historian. Dark Kent 718, what's going on? So, the Lakers and the Nets, man, they came in the season with the moves they made, the additions they made. They came into the season as the favorites to win it all, right? And now, they both been having some struggles. We got my brother Emmanuel H in the building. What's going on with you, great brother?
What's going on, Blue? Set the stove, running errands with the wife and the baby. I was like, man, I gotta hop on.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good, man. We'll just stay on for an hour. You know what I mean? Talk some basketball, and so I was saying, are we still looking at the Lakers and the Nets as the favorites today's time, with them having their struggles? It's still early in the season. It's only 5-6 games into the season, 6 games into the season, 5 games for most teams. But are we still looking at them as the favorites to win it all? Machiavelli Mafia, what's going on? So they both, have been underachieving in my opinion this year, but obviously there's some chemistry, right? The Nets, they brought back LaMarcus Aldridge, they brought in Paul Millsap, they brought in a lot of pieces, a lot of moving parts, and then the situation with Kyrie Irving, Nobody saw that. They brought in Patty Mills, you know what I mean? And this Boss Red 357, what's going on, great brother? I am Dave, what's going on? Nobody foresaw that. So the Nets is 3-3 right now, but nobody foresaw, what's going on with this situation with Kyrie Irving, so I just feel like it's chemistry right now, as far as the Nets and the Lakers. They both 3-3 right now, but what's your thoughts on it though?
Man, so I'm gonna give you an unbiased response to it, 'cause we both know that I'm a Laker Nation, so so I'm gonna give an unbiased one. I'm gonna start with the Lakers first, because I feel like, with it being this early in the season, people want to panic, try to set that route on us, saying it's not gonna work and this, that, and the third. My thing is, it's way too early in the season to try and make that determination. My whole thing is, 6 games into it, they both teams, Nets and Lakers, 3-3.
Mm-hmm.
But my whole thing is, you look at it, what's the trending direction they're headed in? Are you seeing what's the pros and cons you're seeing from both teams?
Right.
And so with the Lakers, I think it's just a whole chemistry thing. They got so many moving pieces. They picked up nine new players. That's tough to try and be able in a short off season come up with the team chemistry and be able to kind of make that click right away. So I think for them, before I hit the panic button or anything like that, I think I'm gonna have to give them about 30 to 35 games that'll kind of really tell me what's gonna happen. When it comes down to I would say the Nets, that's a whole different ball game, just because they one piece away from pretty much being right back to where they was last year, which is you got a 3-headed monster over there. Kyrie that's a tough guard for anybody. James Harden, he gonna adjust. He not, I think just the other night he had 15, 16 free throw attempts. So for him, that got him back in rhythm. But he's not gonna get that every night. He's just gonna adjust his game to where if he ain't getting enough foul calls, what is he gonna do? He's gonna start finishing. He's strong.
He had 19 free throws.
Oh, 19. See, look, I ran short. So yeah, he definitely, everybody know that boy got an upper body. He can bench press the world if he wants to. So, and then obviously you got the most efficient 7-footer ever that's ever played the game, KD. KD gonna be KD. So as long as they healthy, they gonna be exactly where they need to be. I think for them, it's just a matter of getting the Kyrie situation figured out. I thought it was interesting. You got the governor saying that he hope Kyrie go ahead and take that one for the team kind of thing. And it's like you can't tell somebody that's walking away for $17 million to take one for the team because he's standing on his square.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's his body, man. If he want to take the jab or not, it's his body.
Yep. But it's tough. If both of them is, I would say, if the Nets is at full strength and Kyrie, like you said, decide to take that jab and come back, they're gonna be tough to beat in the East. Because I feel like if they would have had him last year, Milwaukee wasn't gonna come out of that. Because you gotta think about it. Drew Holiday can only guard, them two players, Harden or Kyrie. So whoever would have been not here, whoever he wasn't guarding, they was gonna cook. And KD was cooking regardless. So for them in the East, they need Kyrie to be that team to beat. Otherwise, the East is kind of wide open, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel like number 3, what's going on? Stedman Patrick, what's going on? My thing is with Milwaukee, man. Milwaukee scares me because Milwaukee have, they still still got their chemistry. They still got their core together. We know it's difficult to repeat, but they still got their core together, man. And Giannis got even more confidence now going into by the time, barring injury, man, they got a lot of confidence. They beat the Nets, you know what I mean? Obviously the Nets was hobbled, but they still got the victory over the Nets. They beat Phoenix, who beat the Lakers. They got a lot of confidence, man. So Milwaukee, they concern me, man.
Yeah, but I mean, last year they like it always say, you need all the chips to align in order to win that chip, And so they had a hobbled Nets team and some other things go on and go their way. I mean, they playing against the Hawks. The Hawks, I mean, they're a good team. You can't really knock them, but at the end of the day, you're not gonna really say, the Hawks is a championship team. Like it don't sound right to say all the Hawks are in the finals. You know what I mean? And that's no knock against them. It's just the reality of it. Just because Trey is the only kind of player or you can look at him like, okay, superstar kind of person. I mean, obviously you got Collins who can definitely ball and the rest of their crew, but it just don't sound right to hear it say, oh yeah, the Hawks is in the NBA finals. So I think they kind of caught a break there. But yeah, Milwaukee, they got a team. You can't really count them out. But I think, like I said, a fully healthy Nets team, I don't really foresee them beating them. I mean, I'll even be taking a step further. If I think the Bulls is clicking on all cylinders, that's gonna be tough for Milwaukee to deal with too, because you got three, what is it, shooting guard, small forward, point guard. They're all the same height, like between 6'6" and 6'8".
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? So you got people that's that same height. What are you gonna do if they're all clicking and scoring? And on the Milwaukee, you got Giannis that pretty much does everything, and then you got Middleton who kind of, he balled out, and you got Holiday. But when you got a team like the Bulls, that's an athletic, fast team.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't sleep on them.
I like what I saw from the Bulls, man. I think it's a little identity issue right now. When I was watching the game with them in the Knicks, it's a little bit of identity issue when you look at it, because at the end of the game, I think they was confused as who was gonna. I felt like DeRozan was supposed to give it to Zach LaVine. I don't know if it was meant for him to fake it, and then take the shot, but he hesitated, at the end. That's the problem with DeMar DeRozan, right? When the big moments, he starts to, to fold under. That's always been a knock on him. But, he hesitated, and the pump fake, he should have just pulled straight up. But I like what the Bulls have. But I think that their core, I think that the way it's set up with the Bulls, I think it takes away from Vucevic, right? And what he does good. I think it takes away from that with all that perimeter scoring, and I think it takes away from what he brings to the table. But yeah, I do think that. But they have the bigs, and like the brother was saying, if you play the Bucks right, you set up that wall. I don't know why teams don't set up the wall when you're dealing with the Bucks, man. We saw that works. You know what I mean? Even though they now surrounding Giannis with shooters. It works when you set up the wall, man, against them. I hope that the Bulls could, as far as like you said, they're athletic, they're a quick team, but I think they should feed off of Vucevic in inside. What you think about that?
Oh yeah, I agree, because you're gonna have the matchups where you can use his size and his skill set to the max. Definitely, that makes sense to do. But for the most part, I mean, the league nowadays, we know that the league nowadays is more, run and gun type situation. So it's not like the old school days, the 90s and early 2000s and whatnot. So I think for them, they have that in their bag to do. But I honestly think they should have probably kept marketing I can't remember his name, but
yeah, Laurie Marketing. He on the Cavaliers.
Yeah, they should have kept him though, because that's a nice stretch big to have. Or they should have went out to like LaMarcus Aldridge or something too, because and in today's age, man, how the game is going and everything, you gotta have somebody that can stretch the floor. If you can't have that, then you definitely got issues. Same thing you saw at the Lakers last year. I mean, you had Drummond who can't shoot beyond, pretty much his dunking range. So what did you see? You saw a whole lot of the lane being clogged, them not knowing what to do. You wasn't able to kind of attack the basket, all kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I think with the Bulls though, I think they able to kind of play in a multitude of ways that's going to benefit them down the long run, where they can have that, be able to be diverse and up tempo or slow it down and be, pound inside, pulse. But that's definitely something that I think the Bulls kind of have an advantage of. And again, it's early in the season. I mean, if they starting off I think it was 4-0, and they finally dropped their first one. So with that situation being the first one, I would say that's fine. I mean, because the only way you grow is if you lose. Obviously, unless you got like Phil Jackson or something, one of them is your coach or something. But I mean, the only way you can grow is if you lose, because they give you an opportunity to go back to the drawing board and make adjustments.
Yeah, they got a big game today. They play the Jazz tonight. Jazz still undefeated.
Yeah, Jazz is tough, man. I mean, because they got pretty much the same team. Nothing's really changed. And then obviously you got Rudy Gobert that clogs up the lane. So it's like him being on the defensive end, and then him trying to bring his offensive skills to light too. It's like that's tough to deal with. That's and then you got everybody there. They shooting like with the ultimate green light. All of them, Clarkson, Mitchell. Like, I mean, you even got the Aussie that's still balling out of control and looking like he's 60 when he ain't.
And when it comes to the Jazz, man, they get overlooked because of the market. You know what I mean? The market that they're in, out of sight, out of mind. You don't see them on TV. They get overlooked. But you're right, man. They brought back their core players. They undefeated right now. Look, just think, right? Everybody was raving about how the Knicks and the Bulls undefeated, and Knicks only got one loss. But nobody talk about the Jazz.
I think for them though, that's because the bar is set higher for them. The expectation is higher because the last few years they started off with a good record, but then playoff time comes, that's when they fold. So I think that's why a lot of people kind of leave them under the radar and don't really say too much because the expectation is, get to a conference final or win a series or a few series and things like that. So I think that's why you don't really hear too much about Utah. But you're right though, that market it's insane. I mean, the only time that market was high was back in the days when, obviously when the Utah was considered the Bulls' rival, as far as, from the West Coast perspective. Because that's the only thing you really remember before Donovan Mitchell showed up and Gobert and, their revamped team they have now. It's like the only thing you remember before was Karl Malone, Stockton, and Hornets.
St. Louis Mick, what's going on? Melvin Harris, Magnum Opus, Big Tony, what's going on, y'all? Marvin Boyake, what's going on? No Kyrie, no championship. Yeah, man, I think the Nets are going to get it together. I think the Nets should just go, in my opinion, at this point, I would just go ahead and trade Kyrie for Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons fits with the Nets. They don't need another scorer. They need somebody that could defend. Their issue is defending Giannis, right? He could defend Giannis. He's not looking for a shot. He don't take away from James Harden and Kevin Durant shots and Bruce Brown shots. He don't get in the way. He's they both unhappy. It just makes sense, right? What's his name needs a Embiid. He needs somebody that could create their own shot at the top, right? That's what he needs. He needs somebody that could create their own shot. Kyrie, June BK, what's going on? David Hyde, what's going on? Win is train, lose complain, what's going on? He needs somebody who could create their own shot better than Kyrie, and then lets Kyrie do what he wants. He could be the man because he won't take away. He won't get in the way of Joel Embiid. You know what I mean? And then Ben Simmons, he helps the Nets do. He helps the Nets what they need. They do. You know what I mean? They help both teams because you need Ben Simmons they need perimeter defense, right? That takes away from Kevin Durant have to guard, the best player at the end of the game. You can put Ben Simmons in, he's just as big and just as long as Kevin Durant, right? And he's not exuding energy on the offensive end. But then Darsky Law, Shepard King, what's going on? But then on the Jaquan Pickett, what's going on? But then on the offensive end, he still could create plays. You know what I mean? Frankie C31, what's going on? He still can create plays for everybody else as well. He still could play the point. You know what I mean? He's still versatile to play multiple positions. I think he fit perfect with what the Nets is trying to do, right? If the Nets, let's say they was to play the Lakers, you could put Ben Simmons on LeBron. He don't work. He's not the second best player on the team like he was on Philly. He don't have the pressure of being offensive and putting up buckets like he did in Philly. He's the third best player on the team. He don't have to worry about scoring. It releases him, Vince Villabone, what's going on? It releases him the mental pressure of having to score, having to shoot a jump shot. I think it'll put him in a comfort zone. You know what I mean? Calvin Johnson, what's going on? I think it'll ultimately put him in a comfort zone. And then he's not exuding a lot of energy on the offense end. I just think it helps him on the defense end. And what Kyrie brings to the 76ers is perfect for them, with somebody that could go to the lane, create his own shot, take pressure off for Joel Embiid. He could break down the defense and still pass it out, and Joel Embiid could hit mid-range and three-point shots. I think is a perfect situation. What you think, though?
Man, I think it's easy to say, but when you look at it, though, I think Kyrie fits more with Brooklyn because what does he want to do? He want to put on the show. obviously Philly fans will love that the most just because he's able to put on a show and obviously like you said use Joel Embiid as his major backup for it because he'll be the co-star with him. The only issue is that what's Embiid gonna do when he's shooting too much, or like what's Embiid gonna do when he scraps a play and Embiid thinks he needs the ball to score at the end of the game? Them type of situations. That's where we'd have to wait and see because even though Simmons, obviously we all know he ain't offensive, but Kyrie, you think he would be too offensive being in Philly though, knowing that he would have to shoulder the bulk of the scoring. Because I mean, Harris is a nice player, but when you look at it, I mean, you don't want. I don't want to talk on nobody else's pockets or nobody else's money, but Harris. I mean, if you look at him as a player, that his contract don't fit his skill set of like or how he's playing for them. Like, I don't know if I could be able to justify giving a contract like that to a player that's like, that's a max contract. You know what I mean? That's big money. So what's your expectation from that type of player? You expect him to show up, be able to be a 3-and-D guy, be able to lead the way when somebody ain't scoring right, or they don't have it's not their night, they don't have it going. You expect him to step up and be able to take over.
Mm-hmm.
And when the crucial moments came, he kind of was nowhere to be found in a sense, I guess to say. But I think it could work, if I'm being honest, just because again, Simmons there, that would it would work from a sense, I guess, that you would have another big that can handle the ball, and obviously we all know Ben Simmons can play defense. His scoring would be, I guess, the main thing, and people would say he's wide open. Would he be passing up these shots, or would he be putting the team at risk of not being able to score? Because if he can't score, and if he's getting scored on, what benefit is he to have out there on the floor? More of a liability than a plus.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Kyrie would, if I'm being honest, would show out in Philly, just because he'd be a revamped version of AI in a sense, where he'd be obviously just putting up a show, but AI was able to carry them to to the NBA Finals, and that was more so because the team was strictly built around AI. You had all defensive players, and AI was like, hey, just play defense, give me the ball, I'm gonna score. If you open, I'll pass it to you. But for the most part, AI was just putting in work. He was putting up those numbers. You look at that season he had, I think he was averaging like 30 plus a game. But he'll go in and shoot 40 shots to get 30, but as long as they win, nobody cared.
And you think about it too, those games where Embiid be wanting to take off like he did two games ago. You know what I mean? But he's just not aggressive. He's not, putting in the work to, prove that he's, like Shaq said, he didn't want to prove that night that he's the best big man, right? So you look at it from that standpoint. You got Kyrie. He gonna take over every single night. I think that's the perfect storm for Kyrie because NMB Memphis Beats. I'll wrench everybody up once I learn, to how to move around. Right now, they got limitations on things because we're not at a certain amount of subscribers. So once we promote it, put more content, I'll be able to send the wrenches and moderators and all that. But right now, it's not even giving me the option. But yeah. So I think Kyrie Irving is perfect because everybody he's played with was everybody he played with that were dominant players or on his level were all wing players. You know what I mean? But you put a big man with Kyrie where, he could break down defense and dish it. I think his assists is going to go up because he could break down defense and he trusts Embiid to score. He'll dish it to him. His assists will go up, but he still will be the man. And it takes pressure off Embiid because Kyrie could shoot. You know what I mean? So that forces Embiid to get back to get in the paint, and grab rebound. I think Embiid rebounds will go up. You know what I mean? I think it just works for both of them. I think they're the perfect 1-2 punch, a traditional 1-2 big man punch. You know what I mean? That he could score, and I think that, like you said, Tobias Harris. I think that Tobias Harris numbers will go up as well because I think that Tobias Harris won't. I think he tries too hard. He's better when the pressure's not. See, when it didn't fit for him because Ben Simmons is not a threat to score from mid range or from the top of the key or 3-point. So it closes things up, and it forces him to be a jump shooter. It forces him to do too much. He's the second best. He was the second leading scorer. You know what I mean? So if you put Kyrie now, it takes pressure on him. Now it opens up the floor. You know what I mean? It takes pressure off of Tobias Harris. I think his numbers will go up then. I think it's just perfect for everybody. You know what I mean? I think the trade would be, it's just the perfect fit for both teams, man, in my opinion. And like you said, he get to be like AI all over again, but with an official big man now.
Yeah, but that's true, man. That's you hit the nail right on the head because it's like, what can you do about that? I think the only issue that people would have, or the only issue kind of would be more so the fact of like, okay, what's gonna be what's gonna be his availability? You know, is he gonna be there for the team? Is he gonna be reliable? Because that's another thing too. You know, the people in Philly, I'm sure they're getting tired of is the fact of like, you know, can they truly rely on Embiid to be there?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because it was like he always either hurt or some type of like, you know, some type of thing where it's like a liability and things like that. So it's like, what's his availability going to be? Is he going to be able to be?
Uh-oh, we lost the great brother. Lost my great brother. Smash that like button, people. Let's get the lights up. Yeah, this is the new basketball channel, man. Me and my brother Manuel H. and the historian. When he has a chance to come on, he'll be on the historian as well.
My bad, I lost you there for a second.
No problem, great brother. Yeah, both of them, their availability is always in question, right? That's a big issue.
Yep, always a big issue.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, can you rely on Kyrie to be there? Can you rely on Ben Simmons or not Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid to be there? Because it's like every time you turn around, and I think as messed up as it is, man, like KD put his neck out on the line for him, and it's just like the only reason he hasn't been traded because KD stepped in, kind of telling him like, "Nah, y'all not doing this."
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to upset your $200+ million, franchise player that just signed a 4-year extension. So it's like, do you upset him and then take that risk of dealing with this whole little Ben Simmons thing, but with the Nets? Because it's like, he can easily decide to sit out and be perfectly, from a money perspective, perfectly A-OK. All the endorsements he has, the contracts from shooting, all that stuff. It's like he can miss out on a little, a few million if he really wanted to. But KD thing is, he just want to play ball. He doesn't have all that to sit there and deal with all the drama.
You there, great brother? I think we lost you. We lost you. Your audio is out, or you probably on mute.
Nope. Can you hear me, bro?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, I was saying that I think with KD, his main thing is he just want to hoop. KD don't want to deal with drama. He don't want to deal with all the childish stuff. He just want to show up and play ball. That's it.
Mm-hmm. And that's my thing. That's what makes it Rocco 3, Groundhog Sports Nation. What's going on? Feet Steak, brother said when Klay Thompson coming back. They said Klay Thompson coming back in the end of November and December. Bo, what's going on, great brother?
Yeah, that's the same thing I heard.
Mm-hmm.
Right around his grand debut is supposed to be for the Christmas game, right?
Yeah, that's what they're saying. He'll be back by then. Hopefully, man. Hopefully, it's good for the NBA.
That Warriors team having a quarterback, man. It's like if you enjoy I would say good basketball or fun basketball with that, just the motion, the team, the chemistry, everything that come with it. I mean, that's one team that's fun to watch. I mean, obviously we know who does the bulk of the scoring, but just to see that ball movement and just like how they play, just I would say ego free and just just from a team perspective, it's fun. It's fun basketball to watch, man.
It definitely is, man. It's they play basketball how basketball is supposed to be played.
Yep, ball movement, fun, energy for one another, not really selfish. everybody hold each other accountable. Because
Mm-hmm.
I remember I was just watching little things, just seeing like when Steph take a shot, where it's like, if he miss it, is anybody gonna chew him out over? Is anybody gonna say anything? Versus, normally when you see him make it, you getting high fives and stuff like that. And the best thing is when you see for a team, you always want to see when stuff is going wrong or if it's on the brink of going wrong. What do you do when somebody makes a mistake? Who's held accountable? Things of that nature.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But they play just how basketball. They move the ball. It's traditional, right? They move the ball, man. It's beautiful, man. Beautiful thing. But I truly hope, man. It's hard for me to watch the Nets, right? While I'm watching them, I'm like, man, Kyrie's just sitting there watching. Now, again, like I said, he's entitled to his own, however he want to feel and what he should do, and it's his body. I'm with him 1,000%. He shouldn't be forced to do anything, right? Big Texas Clay Smith, what's going on? He shouldn't be forced to have to do anything, But as I'm watching the Nets game, and I'm like, man, I know as a player, right? Regardless of this coming down and them being surprised that New York decided this, because it's only New York and San Francisco, right? They're the only two places that recommend this, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yep.
Yeah. So with this being it just being a surprise and catching everybody's surprise, I know. But at the end of the day, if you Kevin Durant and you James Harden, as I'm watching the game, I'm thinking in my head, this dude is fully healthy. You know what I'm saying? Ant 314 is going on. He's fully healthy, right? And so if I'm Kevin Durant and I'm James Harden right now, I'm like, bro, I feel you. I feel what you're trying to do, and I understand, your stance. But we're gonna need to trade you, bro. Cause he's holding up a spot. It ain't gonna resolve. What's gonna resolve next week? He gonna suddenly say, hey, I'm gonna do it. No, Demetrius Hall, what's going on? Right? He ain't gonna suddenly turn around, right? Yeah, go ahead.
You're right. He ain't gonna change his mind. If he changes his mind this fast, then what people gonna say? I don't think he really truly care about what people say to begin with. But it's like if you do it this early and decide to come back, then you can make the decision just saying, I want to be here for my team. I'm going against my beliefs, and give his spiel or whatever he can come up with. But like you said, you have to respect the decision what he want to do with his own body. But I think if like you said, he's sitting at home, like this probably the healthiest he's been because he hasn't been able to do anything from a Nets practice perspective. He can't even be engaged with the team. So it's like from a health perspective, yeah, he's definitely healthy or recovering from any kind of little neck injuries that he had or anything like that. But yeah, I think if they were to trade him and like Harden and KD was to go to him and tell him that, he would have to understand it because it's like, bro, like we trying to win a championship. Like that's the end game is to win chips. And I think for him, since he already got a championship, he's made the money he's made. He's content with just kind of riding this out. And I wouldn't say pulling the Kaepernick situation or even Muhammad Ali back in the day when they try to draft him, where it's like in the middle of his prime. He stood on his beliefs and dealt with the consequences from it. And I was seeing some crazy stuff where people were saying like if the Lakers ain't working out, I wonder if they'll trade Westbrook for Kyrie straight up kind of thing. I'm like, man, that would be full circle but comedy at the same time to have that three back together in Brooklyn, and then obviously you have the Kyrie and LeBron dynamic again kind of situation. I was like, that'd be funny, but from a hoop perspective, like that'd be terrible to see, man.
Yeah, it's just Les said, and he want to stay fully healthy. That's why he don't want to do it. Have you seen the results of it? Yeah, well, that's not the point. That's not the point. The point is, at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, Q Collie, what's going on? At the end of the day, the point is, you're sitting on the shelf, you're a roster spot, and you're healthy. So regardless, that's a decision you want to make. So make it light on your teammates. Go to the if that's your case, listen, I'm not going to do it. It goes against what I believe. I don't want to hold you guys up. Let's go to management together and ask for a trade. That's what he should do.
Yep.
That's what you should do when you know these dudes sacrifice to come there to play with you. You ask Kevin Durant to come there and play with you. I'm not saying he should do it or not. No, I wouldn't. I'm not going to do it. So I'm cool with that. But then, okay, I understand they did it. Right? So it don't have nothing to do with the results and all of that. We already know that. That's your own personal beliefs. But they did it. And this is the rules that came down. Period. So you have to make a decision. So the decision that he should make is go to them. Hey, bro, I'm sorry, man. I can't do this. Right? I can't do it. I'm not going to do it. He ain't going to do it. So go to them. Don't hold them and their careers up. Go to them. Right? And then this is the thing. Then we see him because less. He says, so why ask for a trade? Because that's what real men do. Jay West, what's going on? And Kid Lane, what's going on? That's what real men do. If I ask you to come and hold me down, and then it's not their fault that that these are the rules that came down from the state. It has nothing to do with the team, the Brooklyn Nets, or nothing. This came from the state of New York. This is their rules. It's out of everybody's hands. And so you asked us to come here. And now you're holding us up. And James Harden doesn't have a championship. So because of your beliefs and what you feel for your personal, that's selfishness. That's for your personal beliefs. Cool. So for my selfishness, I'm going to be unselfish. And I'm going to say, listen, let's go to own management. Let's see if we can move and I'll go elsewhere. And let's see what's the best scenario. Let's try to get me to Philly, bring back a piece for y'all. Pardon me, I can't help y'all. I can't do this, but this goes against what I do. Jay West, what's going on? And Kid Lane, what's going on? That's why he should do it. Because they chose to make the decision to do it. And he's the only one choosing to make the decision not to do it. So it's just you asked me to come here. And now you playing pickup football with no mask and nothing on and playing soccer in the park. And you fully healthy. So see, we're trying to incorporate the politics of everything else. We're trying to incorporate that into his personal selfish beliefs. That's what that is. Because regardless, right? Right? It's my person. If I say yo, come on, do this or do the show, this, right? I'm asking you to come on here, and then I can't fulfill my obligation, but you sacrificed to be here. It's right of me as a man to say, hey, bro, I apologize, but for me, I can't do it. I don't want you to move. I don't want you to uproot yourself, but I don't want you to sacrifice anything, right? But here, I'm gonna see if we could get the historian to replace me, and I'll go somewhere where I don't have the. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, like you said, it's just from taking accountability perspective. But I think for him, man, it's a tough situation, in its entirety, like what they're dealing with, because it's like they want, obviously they want Kyrie there, and it's just they got to deal with everything that comes with Kyrie being there. And I think that's the issue, kind of the black eye on his career, is that, people know the talent that he is, but then they know that everything has to come with him.
Right.
And I think that's the part that definitely hurts, his legacy. Because it's like, from a basketball perspective, man, I can watch Kyrie all day. I can watch Kyrie highlights, because it's like, one thing you cannot take away from him is that man got game. That's the easy way to say it, is Kyrie can ball, I would say, in probably in any era.
Right. And like you said, he's a major piece. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You a major piece, bro.
Without him, LeBron wouldn't have won that chip in Cleveland. Like, I mean, obviously he hit the shot of shots, but at the end of the day, though, it's like what he was doing to Steph and what he was doing to them just as a whole. Like, LeBron wouldn't have got that chip without Kyrie.
Right. Like my thing is this. I stand with him. Don't do that. Les, you're not getting it, brother. What I don't understand. What part are you not getting? It doesn't matter about that. Amika Nuwabi, what's going on? Felix Rich, what's going on? Felix Rich, what's going on? You said Kyrie won't sell himself. This whole point don't matter how many millions. Why are you talking about that? It doesn't matter.
We already discussed that.
We already know that. Cowgirl 413, what's going on? We ain't talking about money, brother. You talking about selfishness. It don't matter. Everybody else on the team still made the decision. So now, okay, salute to my brother, Boss Red 357. If you, yes, you fought, that's your beliefs, brother. So hold me up because of your beliefs. Move on. I'm not going to hold up nobody's beliefs because that's like, okay, let me give you an example. They telling you can't get on the airplane. Everybody on the airplane got to be take the jab. So I'm gonna sit on the airplane and say, nah, this airplane ain't moving because I ain't doing it. But everybody else on the airplane did. They got a destination to go. Get off the plane. There's other airplanes that don't require it. Get off. I'm gonna get up and be like, okay, I'm not. Hey, listen, I can't do it. I'm not doing it. It goes against my beliefs. I ain't doing it. Let me get up off this plane. I'll see y'all later. That's you choose to do it, no problem. I'm getting up and getting on another plane. There's another plane to get me to the same destination. That's what I'm doing. I'm not going to sit here and say, I'm just sit here with my arms crossed and hold up this plane. And I'm one of the pilots. I'm one of the pilots.
Yeah, that airline gonna make that decision. Like, okay, well, you fine.
Right. And it's not up to the people. Listen, cool. I'm gonna say, listen, I appreciate y'all. I'm not flying with y'all. I gotta go elsewhere. Rico McCall said Kyrie is not selfish, people delusion. No, he is being selfish. He is being selfish. He asked James Harden and Kevin Durant to come to Brooklyn. They came to Brooklyn. Nobody foresaw these rules and all of this coming down the way it did. Cool. Nobody foresaw this, right? And cool. I'm not saying I'll stand with him. Then I ain't doing that, bro. Don't do that. It's your body. You don't know the end results. You don't know what's going to happen in 5 years. That's your body. When you go out, you're going out by yourself. No, that's your body. Every right. He has every right to do that. But then you have to be a real man at the end of the day and say, bro, okay, Kevin Durant didn't feel that way. James Harden doesn't feel that way. They feel like it's okay for them to do it. So they did it. Okay, no problem. I appreciate y'all, great brothers. So this is what I'm going to do because I'm never going to do it. So why am I going to hold them up and stop their legacies and what they want to do? No, I'm going to say, bro, I appreciate y'all. This is the state of New York have done this. This is not the team. The Brooklyn Nets didn't say that he have to do this. It's not the Nets. It's the state of New York. It's not the Nets. So it's just like if Klay Thompson tomorrow said, hey, I ain't doing it. Okay, cool. I can't do it, fellas. I got to go somewhere else and play. That's what you should do. It's your beliefs. Cool. Go somewhere else and play. Plain and simple. Hey, man, listen, people. What is he going to do? New York ain't changing the rules for Kyrie Irving. What are we talking about? This is bigger than the Brooklyn Nets. This is the state of New York. They're not changing anything for Kyrie Irving. They're not. Because it's not about basketball. Big George 850, Jafari Caesar, what's going on? Cowgirl 413, Pizza Butts Clean. How you doing today?
And I think just to add on to that, the most messed up part is for him, I think for Kyrie though, it's not only his beliefs, I think he also hates the fact that the choice or the option is being taken away from him. Mm-hmm. You look at his history of Kyrie, like if he's not one of those people that just walks with the sheep. Kyrie is like, he think differently. I'm not going to use Charles Barkley analogy because I kind of felt that was disrespectful. You know, it's funny, saying if you put a bird brain or put Kyrie's brain in a bird, it'll fly backwards. I just feel like for Kyrie, he looks at it like, I if I don't have an option, I have to have options. You're not going to tell me what I'm going to do. Like, I have the option to walk away.
Right. So why should they disrupt the chemistry? Right? Sports and Politics Channel, LB, what's going on? Why should they disrupt the chemistry? Because the state came down. This is not this is not an NBA thing. This is not a Brooklyn Nets thing. This is the state of New York. So why should the Nets disrupt their chemistry and play him sometimes and play him not time? No, it don't work that way. Brother, we just gonna need you. We gonna have to, and they shouldn't even had to make Kevin Durant, James Harden. He shouldn't put them in that position to make that. He should do it himself, because that's what a real person would do. That's real friends. You would go and be like, "Yo, I can't do it, bro. I can't do it." So let me go ahead and make this move. Macadocious Math, get us out. What's going on? Right. You know what I'm saying, man? You're like, listen, I can't do it, bro. He's never gonna do it. Just like I would never do it. So let me go ahead and move on. Plain and simple. I'm not gonna sit here with my arms crossed and stand on my square and say, man, y'all need to make it. The Brooklyn Nets, you are, what you're doing is you're making the Brooklyn Nets and your friends, your so-called friends, you're making them pay for a decision that they had nothing to do with. Plain and simple. That's what you're doing. James Harden is. Go ahead, great brother.
No, I agree. I was gonna say I agree. And that's the worst part of it is that they all want to play ball, but at the end of the day, it's like for him, he has to stand on his square in order for it to make sense of the whole reason why he's sitting out.
Right.
And that's the sad part, man. It's like when your options are taken away or when you don't have the option no more, that's when you kind of look at it and it's like, okay, he making a career decision. Do I stay on my square and miss out on the millions and the opportunity to win another chip and play ball with your brothers, or do you, like you said, take the jab and show up and hope for the best 5 years from now or 10 years from now that everything's still functioning right?
And my thing is this: I wouldn't even advise him to do it. If you get 91, Chris Garcia, Dominique Seaburn, what's going on? No, the super chat is not on yet. It got to get to a certain point, certain level. Marvin Baquet, he said he's paying too. Man, how much is he paying? How much he get paid still? 33 million.
Kyrie, I think I think it's something like that.
Right, he still gets the 33 million. He just don't get the home games paid. He's still right now getting paid for the away games. Underground Asylum, what's going on? So he's still getting 30-something million. That he ain't paying for nothing, and he already made hundreds of millions of dollars. He's still gonna get 30-something million dollars. He ain't paying for nothing. You're talking about the workers on the front line at the hospitals. They're paying. EJJR King, what's going on? They're paying. They're not getting paid anything, not a dollar. They can't get unemployment. They're not getting anything. So they have to find a whole different avenue because everybody is demanding the same thing from they have to find a whole different field of work. Some people have been working I know some people that is in this position that have been working, great brother, for 16, 17 years in this field. Where they going to work at now? Home Depot? Because they can't go to hospitals are demanding this. They're not getting paid. They're paying for it. He's getting 30, so he ain't gonna get this. What is it, 80 million or 70 million? He gonna get 32. Yeah, and he already made hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yep, that's right. And I think for him though, like again, I can't go against him. I just feel bad because it's like not only he's standing on the square, but it's a tough situation to be in because it's like from a longevity standpoint, teams is going to kind of look at him kind of suspect and think they can't trust him to be there.
And you see the Nets was like getting ready to offer him the same 4-year max deal like they negotiating they did with KD, with Harden, and with him, and they took it off the table because it was like they're like, I'm pretty sure at the end of the season, however the cards lay, they're gonna tell KD like, we gotta make a business decision here. We understand you a franchise player and things of that nature, but the train gonna keep going. We got to figure this out. Our mission and overall objective is to win championships, and we can't have somebody that's not willing to be here to help us give us that best opportunity. So like I think they gonna tell him first and probably have him break it to Kyrie or something. But hey, I don't really see anything changing unless, like you said, the state is the one that came down with that regulation and mandating it, and then you see the governor tweeting out or sending something on social media stating, I hope Kyrie takes the jab and is able to play. And it's like that's like almost that's like peer pressure without peer pressure. And like you got the governor coming out saying,
right? That's peer pressure. And my thing is like and again, because people get it to it. Oh, Blue, you saying he should. I'm not saying that. Imperial Kingdom, what's going on? Because I stand with him. No, don't. I wouldn't do it. I stand with him. You know what I mean? So. Yeah. But my thing is, at the end of the day, don't just because you stand on something, don't hold up your quote unquote friends. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna hold up. I'm not gonna hold up my friends because of something I believe in. No, it's just like if I'm not gonna hold you accountable because I'm a you may be a Christian and I may be different. I have a different belief. So I'm going to hold you accountable because of my belief. No. Hey, bro, you believe what you believe and I believe what I believe. And cool. It's interfering with this. So let me go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and step away. I appreciate you, great brother. We still family. We still friends. I'm sorry we couldn't go take this journey and this ride together, but I gotta believe what I gotta believe, just like and you know what that would do, EH? You know what that would do? That would relieve Kevin Durant. You know what I'm saying? That would relieve James Harden because they in the middle right now. If they say if just like everybody know, if they trade Kyrie, that means Kevin Durant and James Harden, they okayed it. You know what I'm saying? Take that pressure off to them, man. You know what I'm saying? If you really a friend, relieve them. You know what I'm saying? Don't make them make that choice. Because it's still their careers as well. You know what I'm saying? No. Go ahead.
Blue, and you seen how what happened to Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins was trying to stand on his square, and then I don't know what happened behind the scenes or whatnot, or those subliminal messages, but he ended up going and getting vaccinated too.
But you know what it is with Andrew Wiggins is he don't have the pull and the say so that Kyrie do. So
True.
the pressure from around the league is going to be thick on him.
Because you saw he what did he do? He stood in the square for about a week, and then like the news, the outlets went from he's not going to get vaccinated to this, and then all of a sudden home opener you see him playing, I wouldn't got vaccinated. It's like that's tough, man, to be a marquee player and be a player of Kyrie's caliber to be able to say, you know what, I'm standing here, I'm standing firm, like y'all gonna do what you got to do, kind of thing. And it's like you said, it's messed up because it put Harden and KD in a situation where it's like, I mean, you got KD. I wouldn't say it's a subliminal, but if he giving a press conference and saying, I'm gonna go ahead and get this out the way. Yeah, we missed Kyrie. It's like that's almost like a public plea, like, bro, like man, we trying to accomplish something here, bro. Like just come hoop. And Kyrie is saying like, y'all say come hoop, but I don't know what's gonna happen to me 5 years from now. I'm not gonna take that chance.
Right, which is understandable, right? And that's what I'm saying. I understand his stance, understand their stance. You know what I'm saying? Like don't put them in a position where people gonna be like, yes, they ain't staying with him. You know what I'm saying? And they let them, they ain't stand with him, man. They went against the brother. No, don't do that to them, man. You know what I'm saying? Because just like you said, that's what you believe, right? You know what I'm saying? You okay with we gotta say the jab. We okay with taking the jab. You know what I'm saying? Cool.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Which is cool. I'm not, which is cool. You know what I'm saying? We all understand. Okay, but at the end of the day, it's affecting our bottom line and your bottom line. So why not just help everybody out all the way around the board? You know what I'm saying?
And I think he'd be understanding of it too. Just because if Kyrie he love the people as much as he don't care what people say. The things he's done for people, just in general, is like, I mean, obviously, if people do their research on it, Kyrie, he definitely help out people. So it's like if you come to him, you have that conversation. I think he'll be able to sit there and mature enough and say, yeah, let's make that tough decision then, and I wish y'all the best of luck, and I hope everything worked out. It's an unfortunate situation this had to happen, but at the end of the day, we got to make decisions based on our health and our futures.
Right. Yeah, and that's my thing. Like, that's why I said, like, if they went to him, it's gonna look like, oh, they came to him and they told him, that he should do this, this, and this, and he felt. It's gonna be like he felt pressure to make that decision. No, he should get up and be like, bro, you playing pickup soccer and pickup football with no mask on in the park. What message does that send? Yo, man, you imagine I actually do all this and you come on here and I'm out here playing pickup. Like, you're gonna be like, really, bro? You know what I'm saying? Really?
Yeah, you got a point.
You think I'm saying? Like, you're gonna be like, bro, really? Well, I could just be like, yo, EH, you know what, champ? I can't do it, man. I'm sorry, man. I know you wanted to do it with me. We wanted to win this together, but I can't. These new rules and these new stipulations, I just can't do it. So I'm gonna have to, just step away, bro. I apologize, man. And let's do this. Let's sit down together. Let's figure out the best. Who don't want Kyrie? Every team wants Kyrie, except for probably the Lakers, right? But even they'll take him. But let's sit down. Obviously, he ain't going back to Cleveland and Boston. So there's 3 teams out, right? Cleveland, Boston, and LA. But let's sit down.
I think LA will take him, man.
Yeah, LA probably would take him. But, he ain't going to want to go there. He ain't going to want to play with LeBron. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. Those teams are off the table, right? But you sit down. Let's sit down. If I'm Kyrie, let's sit down, KD. Let's sit down, James. Let's sit down with management. Let's look for this trade, the best possible destination for all of us, where y'all can get back the pieces that you need to possibly get over to the championship, and I could also be comfortable as well. There's nothing wrong with him doing that. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Let's go sit down. He can make a listen. Let's sit down with Philly. You see what I'm saying? I'm gonna be committed to Philadelphia. I'll tell Philly I'm gonna be committed. I'm gonna show up. I'm gonna be reliable. You see what I'm saying? I'll be reliable. I'm gonna show up, and y'all can get Ben Simmons in return. You're only an hour and a half still away from New York, so he's from Jersey. So Philly and Jersey, depending upon where you at, is an hour and a half either which way. You know what I'm saying? So he ain't missing nothing anyway. It ain't like he's out of he's not home. He's still home. You know what I'm saying?
No.
You see what I'm saying? But
I'm looking in the chat that somebody said if they are the Celtics, they don't even want him back in Boston.
Yeah, Kai girl at 413 because she's from Brooklyn. That's why. Oh. But yeah, let's get out of here, great brother. Hey, let's do another one tonight. You want to do another one tonight?
Yeah, I'm in. Because the only thing I'm doing is just hanging out the house. Baby, obviously baby too young to go trick or treating because wife just wanted to get him out of the house, take him to the mall and some other stuff just to change the scenery for him.
Yeah.
I was like, he go to sleep, man. I don't think I'm doing is watching that Boots fight, and that's pretty much it. Probably watching basketball at the same time.
All right. So after because I'm gonna do the Boots fight. So after the Boots fight, let's do another one because I gotta help go do some running around, but it's just too short for me. I want to get into this, man.
Oh yeah, count me in.
All right, so let's make it happen. But let's go ahead and close this out, great brother.
Nah, that's you, Blue. You got the closeout gear, man. I can't. Your thing is synonymous. You got little kids saying it. You got.
But y'all already know what it is, man. This is Triple B Hoops. My brother Emmanuel H. And every now and then, when the historian can come on, the historian will be on. Kurt Anderson. I know he had dialysis yesterday. He had dialysis today. So I think that's a sticking point for him. But the historian will be on. You know, when he have a chance to, we'll be on. So probably tonight we'll be back on. My brother 81, what's going on? Underground Asylum, what's going on? We'll most likely be back on tonight. So we're gonna try to be more consistent, uploading content, giving y'all information, giving y'all updates of what's taking place. So salute to each and every one of y'all. We appreciate y'all. Triple B Hoops, we gone. Peace.
Peace.